Keys have been around for centuries. Smartphones have revolutionised every aspect of our lives. But the key has resisted this digital evolution until now. We meet the company founder of Klevio, a tech company based in East London, who have developed a digital key that unlocks doors from anywhere in the world.
Klevio builds an access solution for homes and offices. We allow you to open your doors with your mobile phone from wherever you are.
Well, this is my London home, and I have a lot of guests who come and stay with me, and it's a pleasure to share the restored building with them, and that's one of the pleasures about being in the clock tower here. And one of the things that I like to be able to do is have an easy way of getting access to the place, perhaps when I'm late home or not around to greet somebody who's arriving. I often have people arriving here. Well, they might be coming to stay with me, they might be visiting, they might be actually helping out with some of the things that need to be done here. And I'm not always back from work or from where I've been in time, and the important thing to me was to be able to have an easy way to let them in without having to ask somebody downstairs on the desk to keep the key for me to give to them when they arrive. I think the most useful aspect is actually not the pre-arranged thing, because in practice you could get somebody to give them a key. It's the knock at the door from the delivery man, or as it was yesterday, somebody came to finish some painting they hadn't quite finished the day before, and they arrived at my front door and I wasn't in. I wasn't expecting them at that time, but my phone went. I just said, let me swipe you in, and I did.
What we hear from our customers is that the unexpected uses are where they really feel the value. So we've had so many examples where people have started using Klevio, then within the first week they've locked themselves out and their partner or girlfriend's been able to let them in when otherwise they would have been stuck out. We had one customer who quite frequently locked himself in prior to getting Klevio, and his usual technique was to climb down his drain pipe into his basement where he had a way he could break in. And with Klevio, no longer needs to do that.
It has a real wow factor. People can't really quite wrap their heads around it when I tell them I can open doors with my phone. We would go away and have house sitters come and stay, and rather than give them keys, and it was always a pain to get spare keys cut, I can make the key time limited so they can't possibly access the property before or after we go away. We have a huge communal garden outside, but if we're outside cooking on the barbecue, we can't hear the front door go. So we just say to people, call us on the mobile. We don't even have to come to the door to let them in. We just say, if they say I'm outside, I say listen for the click. I let them in and they let themselves into the back garden. I have a regular delivery every second Thursday, and the first time that he came to do my delivery, he called me and said, I'm outside, there's no one home, where should I leave the flowers? So just listen, you'll hear a click in a second and you'll be able to push the communal door and let yourself in. I did it. He was like, wow, what? How did you do that? It blew his mind.
The old collect the key from a friend system is fine for getting people in, but you're not actually welcoming them. Whereas with a system like Klevio, you can be speaking to them, letting them in, and then talking them to wherever you want them to be. So actually you have that personal contact and interchange with somebody. They feel like they've met you already.
For office spaces, you have got mass requirement for entry. There's a lot of people with one office space. And with Klevio, you're able to actually control that entry in a structured way. When you have people who want to come in just for the day, you can give them a digital key for the day. When they come in for months on end, you can give them a more permanent key. With physical keys, that process is extremely difficult, whereas with Klevio, it's very, very easy.
Some of the best use cases are with shortlets. So Airbnb hosts and shortlets businesses, they always have a problem of giving the keys and then retrieving it from their guests. We also have some interesting installations which we even haven't thought of before. One is music studios.
I work here at Platoon. We're a music label working with independent artists. Yeah, so we've got loads of artists that are coming in and out of the studio. So every day we've got a brand new artist in there. So we had 3 sets of keys and it used to be an absolute nightmare of people forgetting to give them back, and they want to turn up late at night, and of course nobody was here at the office. So having Klevio is great because we can, as soon as somebody makes the booking, we can issue them the keys, but for the set date that they're going to be in the studio, and then once their session's over, then they no longer have access. So it kind of works really well for us. It's made our lives a lot easier. Previously, we'd have to, every time the buzzer went, we used to have to, it was like a battle of who was going to stand up to go and answer the intercom and say, come up to the top floor. Whereas now it's kind of a race as to who's going to swipe on Klevio first and let the person in. We had an occasion where an artist had actually left their computer in the studio. So I got a call first thing on Saturday morning when I definitely wasn't ready to be leaving my house and heading off to the studios. So that was a time where it was a bit of a nightmare trying to find a set of keys, get it sent in an Uber, and for the artist to be in the right place to receive it. And that artist now, you know, she's actually got a session booked in for Saturday, and it's the first time that she's going to be using Klevio.
We've got to a stage where you've got the world in your pocket, and having the ability to unlock your home as well as unlocking your finances and all the other things you do is going to be so important in the future.
We look at the future and we look at the possibility of having virtual keys. That opens up to a lot of possibilities for us. And we have a big stream of people coming in and out of our doors each day. You know, if they lose a key, they would be wanted a new key in that moment. I think in 50 years or so, when we look back, we really won't see any keys in workspaces like this at all. Everything will be happen digitally.
Visit Klevio.com.